Hello everybody. Today's lecture on special electrical machines of torque speed characteristics and different configurations of switched reluctance motor. We're having that the characteristics of which are related towards the torque speed characteristics and also the speed time characteristics. And if you consider with respect to torque and also the rotor position angle, the rotor angle characteristics also we are having. Here, how the switched reluctance motor can be operated. And with respect to operating of that particular motor, the characteristics curves for the torque speed and also speed time and the torque rotor angle and also characteristics of with respect to rotor angle of torque value, flux linkage, magnetic flux linkage, current value we can observe now. This is the characteristics for torque speed characteristics. If you consider here, this is a current towards the rotor angle. With respect to phase current towards the rotor angle, the characteristic curve has been shown here. Low speed, medium speed, and also the high speed values, high speed motors. The speed of the switched reluctance motor can be varied with respect to load speed, medium speed, and high speeds. That is, if you come across this, if in a high speed motor, if a high speed motor with respect to the rotor angle, the curve should be like this. Nothing but the current is to be a minimum value shown, and the current value is to be with respect to the theta angle should be decreasing. And next, if you come across the medium speed, for the medium speed motors, the current value and also the rotor angle at certain angle, it should be a constant current can be taken by the motor. A constant value of the current taken by the motor at one value, nothing but at a theta angle is to be suppose 60 degrees. Okay. Next, up to the 90 degrees, it should be having the same amplitude. Next one, whenever it should be increases the value means there is a drop in the current value with respect to the rotor angle theta. And next one, for low speed motors, switch reluctance motors, here if you consider the low speed motors having that shown with a sawtooth waveform, sawtooth wave like this. Graph should be like this. That is for low speeds and also intermittent theta values. Not if you consider theta value is to be varying here with respect to the theta value, the current value is to be increasing and also the decreasing with some certain periods or angle. That is nothing but the low speed. We're having that low speed, medium speed, and also the high speed switched reluctance motors. And next one, torque rotor position characteristics. If you consider torque rotor position characteristics, how they means here, if you consider with respect to the rotor angle and the torque value, with respect to the rotor angle, the torque value, here from 0th position to here, a current value has been increasing, shown with an increased value, that is the torque value. Okay, this is for I1 and I2, and also this is for I3. That is, when the load on that particular motor has increases, therefore there is a difference between the characteristics, that is with respect to the load change on the switch reluctance motors, with respect to the load differences or load changes on the switch reluctance motors. Here, if you observe with respect to the theta angle, rotor angle, here the current value has been rising with respect to torque load on that particular motor. Okay, up to some point only. They nothing but that. This is of course it should be a maximum torque. Maximum torque. After it should be decreasing with respect to the theta value. This is also considered for high speed, medium speed, and also low speed switch reluctance motors. And next one, if you come across the torque speed characteristics, here from the torque speed characteristics, it is clear that switched reluctance motor is a better alternative for conventional DC series motors. Why we consider this switched reluctance motor in place of the conventional DC series motors means here, if you observe the torque speed characteristic here, why? Because the characteristic curves are same as that of the DC series motors. That is, the characteristics of the switched reluctance motor is as same as that of the series motor. That is, the torque is giving that the torque value with respect. Why? Because if you go through the torque expression, if you go through the torque expression, here with respect to the torque expression, torque is equal to directly proportional to square of the current. Square of the current. This is the same relation. This relation is same as that for the DC series motor also. DC series motor. Therefore, the applications should be same. Usage of application for the in place of the DC series motor, we will use this switch reluctance motor also. This is also having the best applications. So that's why having that torque speed characteristics of a switch reluctance motor as same as that of the DC series motor. And if you consider the speed time curve, the speed time curve should be here. The speed value should be increases same as that of the nothing but same as that of the DC series motor only. Here the speed should be increases up to certain time period. After that should be dropping. Okay, that is nothing but the speed time curve and also the torque speed characteristics. And next one about the power converter circuits for switch reluctance motor. Power converter circuits. What is this power converter circuits? Here, if you consider power converter circuits, some of requirements are necessary for to design a power converter circuit or to drive the switch reluctance motor using the power converter circuit. Here, if you consider a good number of power controllers, good number of power controllers have been developed for switch reluctance motor. So many number of power controllers that is which is having more advantages. That is requirement of the power converter should be for the switch reluctance motor having more advantages. That is nothing but good number of power controllers have been developed for switch reluctance motor. Here in this section or in this class, we discuss some of the circuits used in these power controllers. Oh, what are the requirements to be satisfied by the power converter? By a power converter we observe here, each phase of a switch reluctance motor should be excited independently. Each phase. Here also we are having that 8 number of poles of a 4 phase, 3 phase, 2 phase, and also we are having a single phase like that. Here, if you consider each phase of a switch reluctance motor should be excited independently. Next one, an excited pole should be demagnetized before the entry of SRM into generating zone. Here, this is the important point here. An excited pole should be demagnetized before the entry of switch reluctance motor in generating mode. Nothing but once the phase A is turned on by using a power converter or a power control circuit, here once phase A is excited means that phase A is conducting and it is getting magnetized and the rotor pole is aligned in the same path of the phase A by attraction, force of attraction. Here, if you consider once it is turned on and the rotor is rotated, after that the switch A phase A should be demagnetized. Demagnetized. Then only there is a possibility to magnetize another pole. Here, what should be happen means an excited pole should be demagnetized before the entry of switch reluctance motor to generating zone. There is also generating in the motor also. And freewheeling should be achieved during the chopping period. freewheeling diodes we are placing here. Why? Because if suppose once phase A is excited, suppose phase A is excited, that phase A is first we have to demagnetize to excite another phase B. Okay, so if whenever phase A is excited, the rotor is aligned in the same path of the phase A of stator pole. Here, what happen means, even if phase B is excited by demagnetizing the phase A, some amount of energy is there. Some amount of energy is there within the stator pole of phase A, even it is a demagnetized also. So that's why there is a freewheeling should be must and should be required. A freewheeling should be achieved during the chopping period. The demagnetization energy should be fed back to the source for using the subsequent conducting zone. By using of these freewheeling diodes, what about amount of energy, availability of amount of energy should be fed back towards the, it is fed back to the source for using in the subsequent conducting zone. Next one, the circuit should be cost effective. These are the requirements by choosing a best power converter or a power controller circuit. Okay. Next one, different configurations we are having. Various configurations we are having for the using the power controller for the power controller circuit to operate a switch reluctance motor. That is, this is the first one: two switching devices per phase. Two switching devices per phase value. Here, two switching devices per phase. For a three-phase switch reluctance motor, 6 semiconductor switching devices and 6 diodes are used. For a three-phase switch reluctance motor, 6 semiconductor switching devices and 6 diodes are used. Diodes are nothing but a freewheeling purpose. These are the diodes which are used freewheeling. I will show you in this diagram. Here, the phase windings are connected. The phase windings are connected to the DC source through these devices. The phase windings are connected to the DC source through these devices. Depending on the position of the rotor of the switch reluctance motor, which is detected by an appropriate position sensor and fed back through a signal conditioner. Here, the phase windings are excited by turning on the static switches. This is the operating principle. Depending on the position of the rotor, even that is nothing but that is this rotor is to be in an unaligned position. Unaligned is different. Okay, unaligned is a different one. Aligned means whenever any phase of the any phase of stator has been excited. Okay, here if you consider, depending on the position of the rotor of the switch reluctance motor, which is detected by an appropriate position sensor and fed back through a signal conditioner. Okay, here always a positioning sensor is detects nothing but sense the position of the rotor and giving a signal towards the controller. Okay, here the phase windings are excited by turning on the static switches. Static switches means IGBTs, MOSFETs, normal SCRs or thyristors. Okay, for example, T1 and T2 are turned on for energizing phase A. These devices are turned off for demagnetizing the phase B. Okay, the stored energy is fed back to the supply through the freewheeling diode. This is the operation. To show, observe the diagram of this one. Power converter circuit for a three-phase switch reluctance motor. Here, if you consider three-phase, here this is the A phase, B phase, C phase of the stator of a switch reluctance motor. The stator consisting of a three-phase, that is three pair of poles or six poles. Okay, six poles, six stator pole switch reluctance motor. This is it. Okay, here if you observe thyristor 1, this is an IGBT or thyristor 1. This is the thyristor 1 we have been used, and thyristor 2 we have been used. Again thyristor 3, 4, 5, 6 up to. Why? Because each phase we placing that two thyristors and also two diodes. Two thyristors or two switches, two static switches of IGBTs or thyristors, and two diodes we are placed. If we consider these switches, static switches are placed phase A, suppose if phase A is the coil A, this is a coil A or phase A, here it is connected with a thyristor 1 and it is connected with again thyristor 2. In the middle we have been placed this phase A or coil A. Here if you observe, diodes are placed. Diodes are placed anti-parallel, parallel towards the thyristor switches, static switches. Diode 1 has been placed here and diode 2 has been placed here. How, why it is placed so like this means I will explain again in the operation. And now these are the placing of the switches, static switches and diodes or diode switches of a coil A or phase A and coil B and coil C, same as that of the coil A, coil B, C. These switches are connected in the same manner of the all the switches using the diodes and also the thyristor switches. Here if you consider, whenever the supply is given, when supply is given, here we are using the DC source. Okay, here what should be happen whenever the supply is given? Why? Because the switch reactance motor is to be operated in a is a AC motor. Is a AC motor. The DC source we have to use. Why? Because there is the possibility to control the supply voltage and also provide a stable voltage across the motor terminals. So, okay, here if you consider, whenever the supply is given, here, whenever the supply is given here, if you consider with respect to supply is given here, first thyristor, so if you consider thyristor 1 has to be conducted. Thyristor 1 has to be conducted. Nothing but we are exciting phase A for suppose if you consider phase A is to be excited. Okay, therefore thyristor 1 has to be conducted. Thyristor 1 has to be conducted. At the same time, thyristor 2 has to be conducted. Switch 1 or T1, T2 are conducting. And what about the diodes? Diodes are anode and cathode. Here, cathode is more positive. Therefore, diode 1 is not conducting. Diode T is not conducting. Okay, why? Because cathodes are more positive. But here, anode and cathode are positive. Anode is positive with respect to cathode of thyristor 1, 2. Therefore, when phase A is exciting, getting excited, yes. When phase A is excited means here, if you come across the phase A is excited, the rotor is aligned in some direction. Okay, rotor is aligned towards the stator pole by using force of attraction. Here, phase A is over. Phase A excitation is over. Next, phase B excitation. Phase B excitation. If you consider for phase B excitation, here coil A is excitation over and the rotor is rotated to some position and B is to be excited. If you consider when B is excited means here T3 and T4 are conducting and remaining all the 4 switches are off. T1, T2 are off, T5, T6 are off condition, turn off position. T3, T4 only turn on position. Here before turning on the switch, okay, first we have to turn off the phase A. Before turning on the switch B or phase B, we have to turn off the phase A first. When phase A is turned off, therefore what should be happen means this inductance, nothing but there is having some inductance in the winding and also the amount of energy stored in the inductor is to be half Li square. The energy stored is in the form of magnetic field. Here up to now it is a positive. Here the positive terminal we are getting and here we are getting negative terminal. But here whenever phase A is T1, T2 or turn off, this phase A is to be interchange the polarities. Here comes negative and here comes positive. Okay, interchange the within the coil terminals are interchange. Polarity of the terminals are interchange. Therefore, what should come? Diode D1 is anode is more positive with respect to cathode, and also diode D2 is more negative. Cathode is more negative with respect to anode. Therefore, this situation whenever happens, therefore there is a possibility of giving supply back towards the source. That is nothing but the freewheeling. Amount of energy within the inductor of omega W is equal to half Li square. The stored energy can be fed back towards the through diodes using diodes to the source DC source side. Okay, that is the best option for best advantage for the power converter circuit for a three-phase switch reluctance motor. Not only three-phase, if you go for a four-phase, same procedure can be happen. Okay, next if you consider it's like this. Phase A can be excited and after that turn off. Phase B is excited, turn on, and after the turn off, like this. Okay, but the amount of energy stored in the inductor is again fed back towards the source. That is the purpose of using two diodes across two thyristors. Two diodes are placed across two thyristors. That's why with using of these type of methods here we are getting that amount of energy can be fed back towards the source side. Therefore, the efficiency value can be improved. Okay, this is the two switching devices per phase. Two switching devices per phase. Next one, n plus one switches. Next one, n plus one switches, switching devices and n plus one diodes. N plus one switching devices and n plus one diodes. Here, if you consider the circuit shown in the figure of a power switching devices with n plus 1 diodes. N plus 1 diodes means here if you consider D1, thyristor T1 has been placed with the diode D1, thyristor T2 a D2 value, thyristor T3 D3. But here another diode has been placed, not only D1, D2, D3, again a diode D has been placed and it is connected towards the negative side here like this. And also thyristor T also placed. And how they operate I will explain here. If you suppose energize phase A first, if you energize phase A, therefore what should happen here? Whenever energizing phase A means positive supply should be connected towards the thyristor T. Here D1 is turn off position or the open circuit position. Why? Because cathode is more positive. So that's why thyristor T is under conducting state and thyristor T1 is under conducting state on of a phase A. Phase A. Thyristor T, thyristor T1 of a phase A. Okay. Next, yes, this is the procedure for energizing a phase A. Okay. Next, amount of energy after turn on and the rotor position is rotated to whenever switch thyristor T and the thyristor T1 are open. Therefore, amount of energy stored in the inductor, in the form of inductor, is fed back towards through diode. This is the path. Okay, this is the path of diode D1, and this is another path. Here, the polarities are interchanged. Positive here, negative here. Therefore, when positive here means diode D1 is conducting, when negative here means diode D is conducting. Therefore, a path is to be created to give the supply towards the DC source, fed back towards the DC source. Okay, in the next phase B is to be energized. Phase B is to be energized. Here, when phase B is to be energized means the current is to be moving towards the thyristor T and phase B phase B is energizing and thyristor T2. Thyristor T and thyristor T2 are conducting. Thyristor T and thyristor T2 are conducting. And here, in the same way, whenever phase B is excited and the rotor is rotated, after excitation, we have to de-energize the phase B. Therefore, again, the stored energy is to be moving towards this D2 and D value. Okay, and phase C also like this. Here, what is the difference between these two switching devices and two diodes for phases? Two switching devices per phase and also n plus one switching devices. N plus one switching devices and n plus one diodes here means here if you consider for two switching devices per phase, there are per phase we consisting of two switching devices per phase. But here how many switching devices we are placing? of a static switches. How many? Here, if you go move through the previous one, here we are having per phase 2. Per phase 2 means two diodes. Sorry, here this one. Per phase 2, two static switches of two thyristors and also two diodes, D1, D2 and T1, T2. Again, phase B, T3, T4 and D3, D4. Again, D5, D6, T5, T6. Like how many we are having total? 6 switches, static switches and 6 diodes. Okay, and if you come across this one, N plus 1 switching devices and N plus 1 diodes here we are using that per phase, only one thyristor and one diode, and main thyristor T and main diode are permanent one. But that is, what is permanent one means, in previous picture, in the previous figure diagram, phase A is consisting of two thyristors and two diodes, but here not, we are using that much diodes and thyristors. We are reduced and using the main thyristor is always in a turn on position, and the diode is also in the turn on position, nothing but in a conducting state. Thyristor T, main thyristor and main diode. This is the main thyristor and main diodes. These two are in a always conducting state, most of the time. Okay, most of the time. And T1, T2, T3, D1, D2, D3, these thyristors and these three diodes getting relaxed. Nothing but there is a time interval for turning on and turning off. Therefore, there is having more time interval to turn off the thyristors and diodes. But for main thyristor T and main diode D, there is not having much difference. That is the importance of this power converter circuit of N plus 1 switching devices. This is the important one. We come across these advantages and disadvantages. Cost is reduced as less number of switching devices are used. Cost is reduced. Cost is reduced as less number of switching devices. Yes, so many number of switching devices are having in the two switching devices, but N plus 1 switching devices means having that low number or less number having switching devices. So that's why the cost is reduces. Next one, freewheeling is possible here also. Voltage rating of all devices are equal to the supply voltage, which is relatively low. Voltage rating of all the devices are equal to the supply voltage. Yes, efficiency is improved by feedback the stored energy to the supply. Freewheeling diode purpose is to be that one, that is efficiency can be improved for any circuit by using a freewheeling diodes. Oh, and next one, what are the disadvantages? Means high torque ripple. Torque ripple is a requirement of some applications only. Some applications. So that's why high torque ripples are there as a disadvantage, and a higher switching stress per T as it is conducting current while other phases are energized. In previous, I explained that these thyristor T and diode D, these two are operating each and every time. Each and every time those are conducting. Okay, so that's why there is a burden on that particular static switches while operating that much time. So that is the main disadvantage of these N plus 1 switching devices. And next one, another configuration of a power converter circuit, if we consider power converter circuit for a SRM with a bifilar windings. Bifilar windings, these are called bifilar windings here. Here if we consider with the bifilar windings, here each phase of switch reluctance motor has two identical and magnetically coupled coils. Two identical and magnetically coupled coils. Here if you consider when thyristor 1 is turned on, when this thyristor T1 is turned on, suppose when thyristor T1 is turned on, D1 is there. When T1 is turned on means this phase A is excited. Phase A is excited. Okay. T1 is turned on, current flows through the winding A. The current is to be moving like this. Okay. When T1 is turned on, current flows through winding A. And when it is turned off, the stored energy goes back to the supply through A dash coil and through D1. That is the difference between this and previous diagrams, previous circuits. Here one T1 is turned on. When T1 is thyristor T1 is turned on, phase A is excited. Phase A is excited. Once phase A is excited, getting and rotor rotates, rotor moves to another position, aligned position of the stator phase, stator excitation. And after to de-energize phase A, after switch is turned on, the resistor T1 is turned off, the amount of energy having in the phase A of coil A is giving towards the coil A dash due to the mutual induction principle. In mutual induction principle, amount of energy stored in the A has been moved towards the A dash, and it is fed back towards the source using diode D1. And again, if you consider thyristor T2 is turned on, phase B is excited, B dash, like this. Okay, like this. The stored energy goes back to the supply through A dash and D1. The demerits of this circuit are a double number of connections, poor utilization of copper, and voltage spikes due to imperfect torquing. These are the disadvantages. Here, we are reducing the number of switches. Yes, that is also important advantage. Where we are using only one thyristor, one diode only. Okay, normally we are using the N+1 switching devices with the main thyristor T and the main diode D, and also each phase is having one thyristor and one diode. Okay, but here in the circuit, we are also removing this main thyristor and main diode, and the connection has been interchanged by forming that with only two switches. That is the static switch T1 and also D1 only. But we are using an extra coil, copper coil has been placed, increased. Therefore, whenever copper coil has been increased, means what happens? There is a copper losses also, and also utilization of the copper is also very less. Whenever you use any copper winding on that particular motor of a stator and a rotor, what is the utilization of that particular copper winding is also you have to consider. So that's why the main disadvantage of these are double number of connections, poor utilization of copper, and voltage spikes due to imperfect coupling. Imperfect coupling. Okay. And next one, is the split link circuit. What about the split link circuit? Here, the converter circuit is used when the number of phases is even. All those the configurations of the converter circuits are changing. Nothing but what is the purpose of changing is getting more advantages towards applications. The converter circuit here within the split link circuit, here if you consider say capacitors C1 and C2 we have to place two capacitors we are placed, that is nothing but a splitting. In between we are splitted the phases A, B and C, D. Okay, that is nothing but a split link circuit. Here the converter circuit is used when the number of phases is even. The circuit diagram for this is shown here for this four phase motor. This is a four phase motor A, B, C and D, four coils. Okay, the main power supply is divided into two halves. The main power supply is divided into two halves. Main power supply. During conduction, energy is supplied to the phase by one half of the power supply. The main power supply is divided into two halves. Two halves. Okay, this is the one of the supply and this is one of the supply. That's the purpose of using C1 and C2 capacitors. Okay, and during conduction, energy is supplied to the phase by one half cycle of the power supply. Here, one half of the power supply means here if you consider we are getting a sinusoidal supply of a positive half cycle, negative half cycle. But here during commutation period, the stored energy is fed back to the other half of the supply. The stored energy is fed back towards the other half of the supply. For example, um, when thyristor T1 is turned on, phase A is energized. When thyristor T1 is turned on, phase A is energized by the upper half of the supply. When T1 is turned off, the stored energy fed back through D2, not D1, through D2. Why? Because the coil A is connected like this, D2, to the lower half cycle. It is not giving feedback to the power is not fed back to upper half. It is fed back towards the lower half. Okay. And next one, C dump circuit. What about the C dump circuit means? Here the circuit uses n plus 1 additional devices to feed the stored energy from the dump circuit capacitor back to the supply through a step down chopper circuit. Here that is nothing but a circuit diagram for the power converter circuit for another one. This is a complete configurations. This is complete configurations for power converter circuits. Uh, in the next class, we have to discuss about applications and advantages and more disadvantages, and also sensors, different types of sensors we are having. We have to discuss in the next class. Thank you.